So, what do you think? You digging my new look? Today's video is being recorded at my apartment, so if you hear any sirens, that's 'cause it's real. It's the show that launched 1,000 fanfics, it's Netflix's newest venture into anime, it's a tense and violent murder mystery set in a world of herbivores and carnivores, and it's kinda hot. Beastars is finally streaming worldwide and it's making quite a splash. Maybe it's the stellar animation, the unique OP, or the gripping story, or maybe this is all just one big furry indoctrination anime. And if it is, well, bless. So first off, we want everyone to know that we support the furry community. Getting the Robot is a come-as-you-are kind of joint, and we're not here to make anyone feel bad about what they like. Except Kurt. You too, Adrian.
What?
I should also acknowledge that there's a huge range of ways people who identify as furries interact in and out of their respective scenes. They can be artists, creators, and activists. Some are doctors, scientists, and members of the military. They have huge conventions. They do charity work, and yeah, occasionally some of them are known to wear suits. But furries, like all of us, are fans. And they happen to be fans of a lot of the same stuff you might like too. So that's one of the reasons why we're here today, to talk about the buzzworthy behemoth that is Beastars. With shows like BNA, Nekopara, and Agretsuko in the mix, some might joke that furry anime are the new isekai.
Next thing you know, every studio's gonna have some sort of fleecy weeb offering.
But furries aren't a trend, and while Beastars is the most fur-forward anime perhaps ever, the deeper truth is that anthropomorphic depictions have always been a part of animation. You don't have to look far to see that anime has an obsession with cat girls, but the roots go deeper than that, way deeper. It seems like every time we try to unearth the genesis of some anime trope, it all goes back to one source, Tezuka. You know, creator of Astro Boy, Dororo, Kimba the White Lion, the man often called Japan's Walt Disney. That Tezuka? Well, there's compelling evidence that the man's work could be read as furry adjacent, or that at the very least he liked to draw anthropomorphic critters. I mean, have you read Ode to Kirihito? After he passed, his daughter found these drawings of a sexy mouse and voluptuous snake when she was cleaning out his desk, which, I mean, I could think of worse things to find while combing through a dead parent's belongings. Like, you know, a secret family. Good job, Dad. The internet rejoiced when her discovery was made public, and honestly, it made me appreciate the master that much more. Beyond Tezuka, you can go back even farther to a prehistoric statue of a lion man, but let's stay focused on the topic at hand. Because here's the tea. Being a furry can mean a lot of different things depending on how you identify. Maybe you gush over characters that are anthropomorphic animals. Let's not front like we haven't all been playing Animal Crossing. Or you might have an appreciation for the wonderful craftsmanship that your favorite artists come up with. Or you attend conventions, or even support the charities that your friends champion. We can't ignore that there is a sexual side of the community, but just like any other fandom, you don't have to engage with it to be a part of whatever it is you're into. Either way, there's a wide spectrum of what's considered furry, and there are tons of anime as well as Western properties that fit within that spectrum. While Tezuka gets bonus points for being a trailblazer once again, I'm gonna argue that we, you and me, have been primed to accept furry-adjacent media since childhood. We came up in a primordial pop cultural soup made of Thundercats, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Usagi Yojimbo, and Howard the Duck. Then there's Zoids, Space Jam, DuckTales, Outlaw Star, and even early kaiju films. Not to mention Escaflowne, or Inuyasha, or Digimon. From cat girls to dog boys to cat dogs to crime-fighting turtles that were raised by a pizza rat, we've been enjoying the cute and fuzzies for years without even knowing it. Japan and the West have been serving up anthropomorphic characters to eager fans for ages. So why is it only now that we can see the forest for the trees? Why can we now openly acknowledge that, yeah, Beastars has furry elements, and so do most of the shows we love? What changed? Well, for one, I think the internet has allowed us all to find our people and some common ground, and has in many ways helped us to be more accepting of all sorts of people. For another, I think Beastars is just too good, and too hirsute to ignore. Hirsute, that means like hairy. Do you get it? I have to chalk up some of Beastars' success to the quality of the work itself. It's got really expressive character designs, gorgeous art, lovely animation. I'm gonna go ahead and say that for the most part it uses CG pretty well. But beyond its technical achievements, it's also got chutzpah, a sort of inherent pride. It leans into its furry nature in a way that I admire. I mean, it makes the main characters theater kids, which is super spot on. Not to mention the fact that the brooding hero is actually on stage crew. Again, spot on. For once in anime, we get high school characters who aren't infantilized. They've all got complex thoughts and motivations, made even more complex by the rules of the society they live in. And, like all teenagers, they're muddling their way towards adulthood, mistakes and all. For me, watching these characters navigate a confusing and threatening world, one which the adults in their lives insist is okay despite its obvious flaws, is somehow the most accurate portrait of the teenage experience I've seen in a long time, in any piece of storytelling. The fact that these characters are anthropomorphic is somehow besides the point. Then there's the fact that it doesn't pull any punches about its animalistic tendencies. Haru isn't just an anime girl with bunny ears. She's a god rabbit. A dwarf rabbit, to be precise. Okay, yeah, she has breasts and unsettling human-like feet, but by and large, she's a rabbit. The problems she's confronted with are leporine in nature. There's a $10 SAT vocab word. She's a prey animal, so her instincts are constantly going haywire since she has to share a classroom with her natural predators. She has to manage that constant sense of anxiety and dread on a day-to-day basis, which resonates deeply with many of us right now, I'm sure. And the other characters in this world have to grapple with their fundamental natures too. Some carnivores buck at a society that forces them not to eat meat. At least, not legally, while others form bonds with herbivores and have to wrestle with self-hatred in order to do so. When layered with the teenage drama I described earlier, you get a pretty rich show. Of course, creator Paru Itagaki did go and make Haru super promiscuous, which some, though I disagree, may consider low-hanging fruit, insert rabbit joke here. And there are plenty of other questionable elements that might turn people off of the show. Like, I wished the writing pushed a little harder on the wider social implications of a predator-prey society. I wonder if there haven't been any herbivore presidents, or maybe fewer herbivore CEOs or STEM majors too. And where do omnivores fit into this whole thing? Well, there's always season 2, and my manga reading friends tell me the story gets even better. For 12 short episodes, they accomplish a lot. So Beastars is unique, it's uniquely available, uniquely popular, uniquely distributed to all of our living rooms via a handy streaming platform. But it wasn't the first anime with anthropomorphic aspects. Yes, Beastars may signal the furry boom, but Beastars didn't start the fire. Yep, that's a Billy Joel reference. Yeah, I love Billy Joel, but that's such a boomerific reference. I've already mentioned that our generation has been marinating in pseudo-fur media for our entire lives, but I want to dig a little deeper into that. As a kid growing up in the 90s, there were two properties that were absolutely everywhere: Pokémon and Digimon. Our cuddly monster companions got us comfortable with animal-like creatures. We followed their adventures, we formed emotional bonds with them, we nurtured them and helped them evolve, and we loved them. My first starter was Squirtle. Shout out to the water-type trainers. I am an adult now, but I can appreciate that the world's appetite for Pokémon has only increased. And as an adult, I can reflect on these characters and acknowledge that, yeah, Pokémon and Digimon share an arguable and specific appeal. I mean, just look at Salazzle, or Renamon, or you know what, you can Google who is the hottest Digimon and get into that whole contentious internet debate for yourself. Or don't, that's fine too. It's Leomon. Another famous property that stirred many an awakening is Disney's Robin Hood. The 1973 film may have come out before our time, which is presumptuous for whoever wrote that line, but it remains a strong touchstone for the furry community. The film features a charming fox as the lead character, with a bear playing Little John and a vixen as Maid Marian. Yes, vixen is the correct word for a female fox, don't at me. The movie was preceded by Aristocats, which starred, you guessed it, a bunch of cats. But Robin Hood took one step further into the den by having its characters walk on two legs, wear clothing, and have other human-like features. And then Zootopia was released. Okay, hold up. I know this is an anime channel, but we live in an era of globalization, with media from other countries and time periods at the touch of our fingertips. We're here talking about a furry anime co-produced by Netflix, so if you can't handle a little Zootopia on your favorite anime channel, well, okay, that's fair. Pretty much all the other videos on our channel are just about anime. But for the next minute or so, I'm talking about Zootopia. So why is Zootopia such a huge phenomenon in the fandom? And why is it so popular in Japan? Well, like Beastars, some of it has to do with the fact that Zootopia is just a great piece of animated entertainment. And like Robin Hood before it, Zootopia presents a world entirely inhabited by anthropomorphic animals who do stuff just like the rest of us. They go to work, they have families, and they buck against the yoke of a capitalist society. Who can't relate to that? The movie did very well here in the States, and globally, it's got a dedicated fan base. And no, not all of them are furries, but a lot of them are. And it had the backing of Disney, which carries a lot of brand clout in the US and in Japan, to say the absolute least. Before the film's release, there was credible speculation that Creative had the furry community in mind during development, at least partially. They may not have been intended as Zootopia's primary audience, of course, but fans do tend to invest a lot of money into fandom, and I doubt Disney was about to leave money sitting on the table. And insiders know that members and allies of the community worked on the movie. John Lasseter himself gave us this quote, which aged not so well. "I will fully support any movie that shows animals running around in tiny clothes." Okay. Alright, maybe I do want to get back to talking about anime. In Japan, the film had a comparatively softer landing. For one thing, in Japan, there isn't such a strong divide between entertainment that's for kids and entertainment that's for adults. So there's no shame in rolling up to the theater to watch Zootopia. And actually, a lot of people did just that. The movie had a strong box office performance in Japan, grossing more than Inside Out. On top of that, anthropomorphic characters are everywhere in Japan. Shintoism is partially responsible. Japan's most common religion holds animism as a central belief, which suggests that everything has a soul or spirit. And that's one reason there are so many mascots in Japan, from talking trains to this horrifying melon bear. For a deep dive on that whole phenomenon, you should check out Kristal's video about mascots, but the point I'm trying to make here is Japan is way more open to anthropomorphism than the West. Ergo, Japan has been microdosing us with this morphic magic. Like, look closely and you'll start to see anthro characters everywhere. I've already mentioned Aggretsuko, another beastly anime with the Netflix stamp of approval, but there's also Polar Bear Cafe about a cute polar bear who runs a cafe. There's Komamura from Bleach, Lala from Knights of Sidonia, like the entire Mink tribe in One Piece, not to mention all the Zoan-type Devil Fruit users. I'm pretty sure Kid Goku's at least a level 1 furry. Oh, don't forget Froppy, or Tokoyami, or Ojiro. Then there's Adrian's favorite anime about horse girls, Uma Masume Pretty Dabi, which brings me to the infinite abyss that is Kemono Mimi. Kemono Mimi pretty much means moe characters that look mostly human but have some kind of animal ears and a tail. Characters from shows like Kemono Friends, Nekopara, Yurikuma, and Seton Academy are recent standouts. Our Nakama Tim at Crunchyroll did an amazing deep dive on Kemono Mimi, which you should definitely check out. But while I acknowledge the importance of cat girls in activating furries, and while I respect their place in anime, I'm not gonna get too deep into them here, because they're just not far up enough the furry scale. If your furry education is just beginning with this video, I recommend watching our friend Fran, aka Kitten Sneeze's video, The Origins of Furries. She's an amazing artist, so please check out her work. Our friend Ragehound helped us out too. Ragehound has a whole channel dedicated to all things furry, including a really cool in-depth series called Furries After Dark. You'll find links to both channels in the description. Oh, and thanks to my girl Jaxie. It takes a village to make a video, and we couldn't have done it without these friends. Also, we tried to be respectful to the community with this piece, but we may not have gotten everything right, so please, give us your feedback in the comments and let us know how we did. In a certain sense, you could say that we've been training to watch Beastars our whole lives, and if my hours spent watching Gumball and She-Ra and We Bare Bears have brought me here, I'm at peace with it, because Beastars is worth a watch. Besides, can't we all just collectively agree to stop shaming each other for what we like? Not in this lifetime, I'm sure. So sit back, relax, and let that sweet, sweet furry indoctrination seep into your soul. Watch Beastars. And when you're done with that, check out BNA whenever that gets released from Netflix jail. And when you're done with that, I'm sure there'll be a fresh litter of great new shows to watch. I'm Wai Chang. This is Getting the Robot, your anime explainer. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and be easy, y'all.